Hello friends, it's good to have you back and please be with us until the end of the video. Have you ever wondered why so many people stay in unhealthy relationships, even when they know it's damaging? It's not just about love or commitment. Often, it's about a complex web of psychological, emotional, and practical factors that keep them trapped. So, let's explore 14 powerful reasons why people find it so hard to leave toxic relationships, and how understanding these reasons can be the first step toward breaking free. Along the way, I'll sprinkle in a few because let's face it, sometimes the only way to get through tough topics is with a little humor. 1. Low self-esteem. Yep, when your self-esteem is lower than a snake's belly, it distorts your view of what a healthy relationship should be. According to research from the University of Waterloo, constant criticism, put-downs, or being treated unkindly starts to feel familiar, just like that worn-out couch you've had for years and can't seem to throw away, even though it's about as comfortable as a bed of nails. A voice in the back of your head might whisper that this is all you deserve, making the thought of leaving too daunting. It's like convincing yourself you're only worthy of stale popcorn when there's a world of buttery goodness out there. But remember, you're more of a movie theater popcorn kind of person, with extra butter. 2. Fear of being alone outweighing the pain of staying. Being alone, especially after a long relationship, can be scarier than realizing you're out of coffee on a Monday morning. The idea of loneliness, the worry of never finding someone else, and the prospect of having to rebuild your life solo can make staying in even an unhappy relationship seem preferable to facing the unknown. But let's be honest, staying in a relationship just because you fear being alone is like keeping a phone with a cracked screen. It still works, but it sure isn't enjoyable to use. Plus, think of all the peace and quiet you'd gain without the constant "what's wrong?" text every 5 minutes. 3. Hoping that things would change keeps them trapped. Humans are wired for hope. We cling to those occasional flashes of the person we fell in love with, the moments when things feel good again, like a dog chasing its tail, pointless, but darn persistent. This hope, however ill-founded, can be incredibly powerful. If your partner promises to change, addresses your concerns even briefly, or shows rare instances of kindness, it can create a powerful illusion that things will eventually get better. But as we all know, hope can be like expecting your cat to finally respect your personal space. Spoiler, it's not happening anytime soon. 4. Confusing intensity with love can be a dangerous trap. Passionate highs followed by crashing lows isn't romance but emotional chaos, kind of like eating too much spicy food. Sure, it's thrilling now, but you'll regret it later. Yet, this addictive roller coaster can be mistaken for a deep, soulmate-level connection. Drama gets equated with love, and the instability of the relationship makes it hard to break free. When the quiet normalcy of a healthy relationship feels disappointingly boring by comparison, remember, boring can be beautiful. After all, there's a reason people crave routine. It means no more stomach-churning emotional rides that leave you queasy. 5. Fear of their partner's reaction makes leaving seem impossible. Unhealthy relationships often involve manipulation or control. Your partner might threaten self-harm, lash out in anger, or guilt-trip you if you mention leaving. Fear of their reaction, whether it's emotional blackmail or the threat of physical confrontation, can create a paralyzing sense of helplessness. It's like living with a roommate who throws a tantrum every time you suggest changing the Wi-Fi password. It's exhausting, and you're left wondering if it's worth the hassle. But just like that roommate, maybe it's time for an eviction notice. 6. They've lost their support network due to isolation tactics. Controlling partners often try to isolate their victims, like a grumpy neighbor who keeps stealing your Wi-Fi signal but never waves hello. They may criticize your friends and family, gradually driving a wedge between you or making you feel like you can't confide in anyone. Without a support system to turn to, the idea of leaving seems even more difficult and lonely. But don't forget, your friends and family are like that sturdy old Wi-Fi router. You might have lost connection, but with a little effort, you can get back online and stronger than ever. 7. Sunk cost fallacy makes them reluctant to let go when you've invested years, energy, and shared experiences into a relationship. The idea of wasting all that time can create a powerful force keeping you stuck. It's hard to walk away from a life you've built, even if it's crumbling faster than a sandcastle at high tide. This focus on past investment blinds you to the fact that staying is costing you even more in terms of your happiness. Think of it like sticking with a TV series that's gone downhill. For sure you've watched every season, but at some point, you must ask yourself if it's worth finishing just because you've come this far. Spoiler alert, it's probably not. 8. They feel responsible for fixing their partner's problems. If your partner struggles with mental health issues, addiction, or unresolved trauma, you might feel a deep sense of responsibility to help them. Empathy is a wonderful quality, but it can backfire when you take on the burden of fixing someone else who isn't ready to change. It's like trying to fix a leaky faucet with duct tape. You're doing your best, but the problem isn't going away anytime soon. Remember, you're not Bob the Builder, unless you are, in which case, kudos, and it's okay to call in professional help or in this case, walk away from a problem you didn't cause and can't fix. 9. Children or shared finances make leaving logistically complicated. The practical realities of untangling your life can be overwhelming, like trying to untangle last year's Christmas lights. Concerns about child custody, dividing assets, or figuring out who will move out can make leaving seem like an insurmountable obstacle, especially if your partner tries to use these things as leverage to control you. But remember, untangling those lights, though frustrating, is worth it when you finally see them shining bright. The same goes for your life. You deserve to see it shine, even if it takes some serious untangling first. 10. They've been gaslighted into questioning their own reality. Gaslighting is an insidious form of emotional abuse where your partner constantly twists your words, denies your experiences, and subtly makes you doubt your own sanity. If you've been convinced that your feelings are invalid, your perceptions are wrong, or that you're overly sensitive, it becomes incredibly hard to trust the inner voice telling you that this relationship isn't right. It's like trying to convince yourself you're not cold in the middle of winter just because someone else insists it's warm. Hint: it's okay to put on that coat and find someplace cozy. 11. Societal pressures about marriage and staying together can add guilt. We're still influenced by the outdated idea that a successful life includes a long-lasting marriage. Divorce or breaking up a long-term commitment can feel like a failure, making it even harder to do what's right for you, especially if relatives or friends don't understand your decision. It's like feeling guilty for ordering dessert first. Sure, it's unconventional, but sometimes you just need to break the rules for your own happiness. And let's face it, who wouldn't prefer a slice of cheesecake over enduring a relationship that's gone sour? 12. Trauma bonding creates a powerful, yet toxic attachment. When abuse is mixed with intermittent acts of kindness or love, it creates a strong psychological connection known as a trauma bond. Just like an addiction, the brain craves the highs after the lows, making it difficult to break free even when you know the relationship is ultimately harmful. It's like eating that one piece of chocolate cake that's both delicious and regrettable. You know it's bad for you, but you keep going back for more. The difference is, breaking free from a trauma bond requires more than just saying no to dessert. It takes recognizing that you deserve something better altogether. 13. They might be addicted to the approval of a narcissistic partner. Narcissists dole out praise sparingly, making their victims crave their validation like a dog waiting for a treat that never comes. When you finally do receive a crumb of approval, it provides a dopamine rush that reinforces the attachment. This keeps you perpetually trying to gain their love, like a gambler unable to walk away from a slot machine that keeps teasing with near wins. But remember, the house always wins, so it might be time to cash out before you lose any more of yourself in the process. 14. Intermittent reinforcement makes them hold out for the good old days. Psychologists know that random rewards are most effective at keeping someone hooked. If your partner is occasionally loving, apologetic, and promising, it reinforces the hope that they'll be that person all the time. Just like a gambler, you keep coming back, convinced the next time will be different. It's like playing the lottery. Sure, someone might win, but statistically speaking, it's probably not going to be you. Holding out for those good old days in a relationship is like keeping that lottery ticket tucked away, hoping it'll eventually hit the jackpot. Spoiler: those good old days aren't coming back, and it's time to stop playing a losing game. As we wind up, understanding the reasons why people stay in unhealthy relationships is crucial, not only for those who feel stuck but also for those trying to support them. It's like being in an escape room. You need to know the clues to find your way out. If you or someone you know is struggling with any of these issues, remember that help is available, and you deserve a relationship where you are truly valued. Life's too short to be stuck in a relationship that makes you miserable, and besides, you've got better things to do than waste your time on someone who doesn't appreciate how awesome you are. If this article resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more insights on how to build healthier, happier relationships. Until next time, cheers.